if you don't do more than what you're getting paid for, you'll never get paid more for what you do. It's the little things that make a big impact. It snowball effects into something much bigger. But in order to do that, you have to get out your comfort zone. You have to be willing to take risks.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me. Not for the time that I've spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is me, Aaron Mack. We here for another one on this somewhat bright, shiny day.
Bright and sunny. Also sunny. Friday afternoon. I'm gonna probably have a little more energy right now because it ain't 4:00 in the morning, but and everybody in the house already up, and I ain't got to worry about disturbing nobody, so right. We good now. Yeah, I already had some energy in me.
Come on, let's go.
Yeah. So yeah, man. How you been, man? What's up with you?
Been pretty good. Made a recent investment. Just similar to your very, very recent investment. So we making some money moves, hopefully.
Making boss moves.
Oh, yes. Making some boss moves. With plans on getting returns. Not the near future, but further down the lines, hope to get real big returns. Not even just like money wise, but like just, time spent with friends and families. Just big things are happening.
No, I mean, hey, it could be a money investment too. Like we can get something out of that. I'm pretty sure I can come up with a few ways to get some money back out of that. I promise you I can. That's the beauty of being an entrepreneur. You get yourself out of that box of thinking that that all you can do is make money, pass and go.
Yes. Oh man. What about yourself, man? What we got going on?
Oh man, I was feeling great up until about 30 minutes ago, where Alyssa came in and was like, "Yeah, we can do that," and now I'm feeling phenomenal, bro.
Okay.
I am feeling phenomenal, bro. Like I was just thinking about it. Like after you started the podcast up, I was just like, I'm still looking at the spread up here, and I'm just like, yo, what if this really do become the thing that we were just talking about? And obviously I can't say too much about what's going on, but I just made an investment myself that that could potentially put the company into a really green area. So we gonna wait. We gonna see what happens there.
Right.
Yeah, man.
All right, so we're gonna slide into this boss of false. We got plenty of boss of false today.
Did we ever decide which one we going with, or we gonna do both of them?
We can do both.
We can do both. Okay. All right.
Both of them are pretty interesting topics. The first one being we ain't gotta get in the nitty gritty, but there was this couple that goes out on a date.
No. Go with the other one first, because I kind of feel like that one will take us into the topic. So yeah. Do you have the article up, or like was it an article, or was it just she was talking about it?
It was an article that sparked that conversation. And it's other articles even before that one that like just kind of blew me. Like I'm just like, this is legit. This legitly happens, and someone thought that this was okay to give this person a certain praise. and I'm not saying what they've been through should be, looked down upon or looked at as less, but I'm just like, maybe we could have gave them uh, the praise in a different fashion, maybe.
Leah Thomas is her name.
Hmm.
She is a swimmer that came from University of Pennsylvania, and I don't know if she was it like. I guess she's she's just on the swim team. I don't know if it's just,
Mm.
it don't look like it's Olympics or anything like that. Um, but she's a successful swimmer now. Um, but apparently before this whole situation, she as a just recently transitioned, and there was no wins, there was no successful seasons. But now that the transition has become a thing, and she's still swimming as a female, now she has had the most successful season and praise of any woman that's done it. So in NCAA, what was it? NCAA final? Okay, I guess that's not just for basketball. All right, so yeah, obviously I don't know nothing about sports, but all I'm seeing is like this woman who used to be a man not that long ago, because it's only 24 years old, um, swam a very successful season, and people are pissed because she was, like, you still a man. Like, I mean, I'm all right. that came out bad. Like somebody gonna listen to this and all right, bro. Like it's a tricky
It's,
situation, bro.
it
Like
is.
it's a tricky situation, and people are pissed because she won like a very
Mm.
successful season. I mean, she went undefeated, but they're pissed because she wasn't assigned female at birth, so they're
Mm.
pissed.
And it's like I said, everybody goes through their own struggles. We don't really know necessarily what they've been through, but in situations like that, and we can't really talk too much about it because there's things we just don't know. But like,
And
I
there's also
think
some things that we'll get canceled for if we talk too much about it.
it's just like y'all have to realize that you guys are kind of like diminishing or kind of like just pushing aside the feelings, the hard work that actual women go through to reach these heights. And
Mhm.
then there's another article that says that there was a young lady that was born woman, born female. She gets disqualified because her physique is too man-ish.
Oh
So
man,
where's what's the scale that we're looking at, or the
yeah,
the format?
that gray area leaning on one side is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, it's like what's the what's the word I'm looking for? Not the format, but the thing that judges all as a whole. Like what
There's
what are we
no
looking?
there's no balance here. It's like you just say everybody. It's like a do as I say, not as I do kind of culture with that one. Yeah, like and with that being said, that is kind of messed up too. Well, it's not kind of messed up. It's totally screwed up that you know um, a woman could in a certain field, because even Michelle has told us that women are judged negatively if they don't look like women in bodybuilding, bro. I'm like,
Mm,
but the human muscles,
right.
not male muscles, female muscles, they human muscles. Like if the muscle has been developed, then it's gonna look like a It's gonna like a jacked ass muscle. Like it's not gonna. The muscle don't discriminate versus male or female. It's the same exact muscle. Like the only thing that's different is how it's built internally in each gender, but it's still the same exact muscle, still the same exact shape, and could have the same mass if built correctly. So for her to like she said it on Absurdity when she was featured on that thing, man, that there are women who are judged harshly if they don't have feminine features. So they had to be careful about how like which exercises they do and things of that nature. And it was, I thought it was fucking ridiculous, bro. I thought it was ridiculous. And here we are with the same situation happening in reverse. And women have been saying it for years that men can get away with so much more. And I don't even know, bro. Like with that being said, I don't even know if this right here is huge, bro. Like with them saying that men can get away with anything, with this being the case, I don't even know what to say.
Right. Right. And it's a very big issue that like it can get worse, it can get better, depends on the mentality of the world and how
it depends on whether a man leading the charge or a woman leading the charge. Let's be real, like that's what it is right there.
Yeah.
And then there's a connections thing too. So you could just have some dope ass connections and I ain't trying to say Leah Thomas got some dope ass connections and that's how she got to where she is. I'm pretty sure like swimming is her passion, and it sucks that somebody that can't that finally identifies externally with who they are internally. It sucks that you can go that situation, which is already hard enough as it is, especially in this world, because not everybody is receptive to it. It sucks that she had to go through that on top of this. So yeah, man, it's I don't see what the controversy is, honestly, because like if you passionate as a male, and then you passionate if you passionate about something as a male, and then you transition into female because gender reassignment is a thing and it's accepted now. It's supposed to be accepted. Now all of a sudden it ain't accepted because you're passionate about something that I don't know, man. It's too much there.
So this was supposed to be a boss of false, but it's a lot to unpack, and we'll just chalk this one up as something to kind of be a eye opener. Like
I forgot it was a boss of false.
It's a situation that we still don't have facts to or answers, because it's a lot of stuff to, like you said, unpack. Like you have to see the person's emotions behind it, the reason they did change, or like
well, we know the reason they changed. It's the same reason everybody else changed. It's not like the girl was just like, all right, I'm gonna go get a sex change because I can't win a season. Like nobody does that, bro. That's not a thing.
All right. Maybe.
Because it's not like it's something that can it be reversed? I think it's like up to a certain point it can be reversed. But yeah, like I honestly don't believe, like there's no evidence out there that she got a sex change to win the thing, man. Like She's like, yeah, women are weaker, so I'm gonna be a woman and win it so I can get a medal. Like, nah, I don't think that's the case, bro.
Okay. All right. Well, like I said, it's a lot to unpack there. Hopefully this conversation sparks in something to help people move forward. It is something that has been somewhat recently accepted.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, there is a lot of stuff we need to figure out on like what's the extent of it being acceptable in fields like sports, or what is the do's and don'ts, or the pros and cons, and the athletic field, the uh social field. What can we deem as a social norm, and what can we not deem as a social norm? Because we've had a recent, not really recent, it was a while ago actually, just at work we had a person in the transition phase, and people were bent out of shape on just what bathroom they would need to use. And
Yeah.
there was a very ignorant, black male that was like, oh, well, even though they haven't fully transitioned, I don't want that other part of them to, you know, start acting up while they're in the woman's bathroom and the opposite sex bathroom. I'm just like, yo, bro, that ain't even. First of all, they're too far in the transition to even have that problem. And second of all, how does that sound? Like they've made the decision to transition. So I'm pretty sure they wouldn't even feel comfortable, going through that. So I'm just like,
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that conversation too, where like it was.
what you there? Was that when we was on the pack line together?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. All right.
I
All right.
think so.
Because I
It
remember.
was a very strange conversation. But I think it's just hey, you hear men say that, but it's because they uncomfortable with their own sexuality and they confused.
Mm, mm, mm. Yeah. Yeah. Which blows my mind. Like that whole different conversation. Anyway,
Oh, different. What you want this episode to be about?
right. Um.
Yeah, man. Right.
So another boss false that we had. Um. So all right, story time. A couple comes in to enjoy a meal, a date, or whatever at this restaurant, and
Let's back it up a little bit.
back it up. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, it's been a COVID. Can't nobody, can't nobody see each other. Our little group
Mhm.
used to. I swear we used to go out like at least once or twice a month, bro. Where before COVID happened, bro. Like we was out every single month doing
Mhm.
something, and for whatever reason, man, COVID just kind of put a stop to everything. Even though in our area nothing really changed. All of us were still going to work like normal. All of us were still communicating like normal. But for whatever reason, it's just been this little weird situation where COVID just kind of put a block on that. But now that COVID is starting to lighten up a little bit, everybody decided, hey, let's go to this Mexican restaurant down the street for work after work, and we just meet there for dinner. Whatever. Yeah, cool. Whatever. We all just sitting there chilling, having good old conversation. The restaurant packed, by the way. I ain't.
Thanks.
It's packed. Like there's a lot of people yelling over each other for whatever reason. They got the music on decibel plus 62. I don't know what the fuck going on with that. They just make sure that you gotta hear all the lyrics to every song that play and every single instrument and every beat. Is loud. I ain't like it's just straight up loud. And we were the biggest group in the room. Like just being real, it was like 8 of us. And we the biggest group in the room. The other group next to us, they got kids. This one group with a baby. Everybody is loud.
Mhm.
So this one couple, they come in and they sit over in the corner. All right. Nobody pays it any mind. And then all of a sudden, the group that we with get to laughing. And the lady in the corner, she yells, blurts out, "Can you hear me now?" Like on some petty stuff. Like just and her and the dude that she was with, he was uncomfortable as fuck. But he went along with it. He was like, yeah. So we all stop. We look over. And the girls, bruh, I promise you, our women, they were all about to fight, bruh. Every single one of them, they were all about to fight. And it seemed like, bro, every time we go into this restaurant, it's always a problem with somebody, dog. I swear to God, every single time. You remember last time we were there, Michelle was about to get to fighting with one of the ladies that was sitting near the door.
Really?
Yeah. Because it was hot as balls in there, and the guy came and propped the door open, and the lady at the table closed it and was like, "No, we don't need that door open." And Michelle was like, "Bitch, it's hot."
Oh, facts. Oh my God, was we there?
Were you not there? I think y'all were.
I don't know. The last time I remember being there was one of our friends going away party.
Yeah, that's when it happened. Was that one?
Oh man.
Nah, right. Hold up. No. It was Heidi's little birthday get together. Were y'all there at that one?
It was her birthday and
yeah, y'all were there. Y'all were there. I know y'all were there.
Okay.
Yeah. Y'all might have been too faded to actually know what was going on because y'all had the big y'all had the big joint. I think we were taking shots that night. Yeah. But yeah, man, every time we go up into this restaurant, there's always somebody like trying to flex on us. So Jesus. I want, like, is it a boss or a false move for the lady to be in the corner and interject her voice into our conversation and yell across us to try to get us to calm down or to be quiet?
I mean, ultimately, it kind of did work. So
it did. I ain't gonna lie. I felt like a bitch afterwards, though. I was like, "Oh, damn, it worked." But I didn't want the alternative. Is what is the thing, because even Alyssa was like, "What the fuck?"
I was surprised. I was like, "This."
Alyssa never buck bad with nobody, bro. She's like cool, calm, and collected, but like she hate bullshit, and she was definitely feeling like her bullshit radar was definitely up and on swole that day.
It was on and popping. Lord,
God damn.
But yeah, crazy enough that I don't know. Well, yeah, I would say it's a boss move because like we've said before, get it however means possible. She wanted to go out and I'm guessing have a nice quiet little dinner. I mean, she picked the worst place to have a nice little quiet little dinner with her man, but
should have went to Red Lobster or something, bro.
Facts. Kind of want to go to Red Lobster because they having a special on lobster tails, and like I've had lobster tail just recently, and I was like, "Oh my God!"
Shouldn't have told me that. Alyssa just said she wanted some biscuits too.
Oh my God, bro!
Ooh. I go there just to soak up, just to eat all the biscuits that I can, and take the food for leftovers with some biscuits. But look, you done?
Yeah. I say it's a boss move
because I got a monkey wrench to throw in there.
All right,
boy. All right, check this out.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to say that is a full-on false move.
Okay, why you say so?
Full-on false move? Because the reason why she did that the way that she did it, because people don't like confrontation. So you think about it, right?
Okay.
What was the alternative? She gets up, or she deals with it, or she comes to our table and says, "Can you guys quiet down?" Which at that point, there would have been nothing that we could do to stop either one of those three women from fouling off on her. I can't say one way or another that Coco, Michelle, and Alyssa would just be like, "Oh yeah, no problem. I see you guys over there having a nice dinner. It's all good." I can see there is no universe where that would have went well. So she sat at her table, and it's almost like a sneak diss.
Basically, yeah.
It was literally a sneak diss. So she sat at her table and did that because she didn't want to confront the problem head on. She wanted to be inconspicuous about it, but they were the only two sitting in the back in that corner. So it ain't like we wouldn't have knew where it came from. So she did that to prevent herself from having to face the problem head on, but still almost started a problem. In fact, I would have respected her a little bit more. I would have respected both of those people a little bit more had they just come to the table and just said, "Hey, you guys are really loud," and I would have been in of it. I mean, you probably would have got punched, but I would have respected the fact that you came and you actually voiced your opinion. I mean, it's an opinion. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want because this is a public space and there's no fucking noise ordinance in a restaurant. Like you wrong already for even doing that. You like there's a group of people who are hanging out and they're louder than you. So you're in a public place, you don't get to dictate how loud anybody else is. That's not how that works. So like I'm gonna just say that's a false move because they did it for selfish reasons anyway. Now I get that you feel like you're entitled to have a meal in peace, but you could have took it home. The restaurant known for being loud. Some of their reviews that say that that restaurant is known for being loud. Some people take stars away from it because it's loud in there, but people go back for the food because the food good. So you already in the wrong as it is because you just decided that in the loud restaurant, one of the loudest restaurants in the area, actually the only restaurant in the area, you decided that you wanted to try to calm down the crowd by doing a sneak diss. So that's a false move, bro.
Ooh. Okay. False okay. Move. And with all that, it brought me back to one time I was working at construction site, right? We're in the back of the woods. Ain't no other houses around. And every morning, me and my crew or the group that I was in, you know, we're basically the janitors of the whole stick. Yeah. So it ain't nothing too important that we got going on.
Yeah.
So every morning we at startup basically, and these guys, you know, sad to say, most of them, if not all of them, have a past of being incarcerated. So, you know, they just happy to be outside, happy to be with other Black folks because it won't know, you know, it was Black folks having a good time. You know how we do when we get with, you know, friends, you know, our volume can get up there, right?
Yeah.
So it's us, we're kind of set aside from everybody else. And there's a electrician crew that's kind of a good little ways away from us. And the foreman for the electrician crew, I was doing this one little task and I happened to kind of walk by him, and we had got to talking or whatever. He was like, you know, you seem like you have a nice little swell head on your shoulders and whatnot. Just basically giving me all this praise or whatever. And then he was like, but your crew, you know, y'all real loud in the mornings and whatnot. Y'all kind of, you know, give off this like ignorant.
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead, say it. Go ahead, say it.
And I was like,
I dare you,
like,
mother.
and this was another, you know, brother as well, another you know, Black guy. And I was just like, can you really fault them for that? You know, it's like we outside, we in the back of the woods. Ain't no, you know, if we bothering somebody, it's gonna be animals. Yeah. Like we probably, you know, bothering some bears or some wildlife out here, but they ain't gonna be complaining like talking about, you know. And I'm just like, they just trying to come to work, do they hours and trying to get out of here. You know, they just trying to make it through the best they can. You know, I can't really fault them. You know, I ain't really a loud person, so I can't really tell them to, you know, I'm cool, calm, and collect 24/7. Really, you won't, you know, really see my volume get to a higher level unless I'm laughing, joking, or whatever. But other than that, like, can you really fault them? Like,
I feel the argument that you're trying to make. That those people though, like it was a bit ridiculous for them to do that. And I especially for the reason why they were trying to do it. Because like if they came out of the house for a a date, like a nice quiet dinner date, then why were they just sitting at the table just like watching videos? like like they were just staring at their phones the whole time, just looking at videos, bro. And I'm like, y'all wanted us to be quiet so you can look at YouTube videos, like, and TikToks. Like that's a false move right there. Like you, like, bro, for real, like, hey, you really in a restaurant, a public place. So, and then there was a baby just screaming, baby screaming her lungs out right behind us. And I'm like, you ain't gonna yell at the baby though?
Can't yell at babies, man. Can't yell at babies.
Well, I mean, you can't yell at people either. So, you know, it is what it is, man. People gonna be people. You can't change that. Man, nothing we can do about it. It is what it is, bro. So, with that being said, did you have something else? I guess we could just go ahead and slide into the conversation after you said that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna make a conversation to slide into the topic that we
have. Go ahead.
So basically, ultimately, like, to
go ahead, talk about the joint, the recording first.
Oh, okay. So I was, I don't even remember what I was trying to do. I was driving somewhere. I think I was picking up some food for the house or whatever. I was listening to the radio station, and Steve Harvey came on and was talking about basically like, you gotta do more than what you're getting paid for to one day eventually get paid for more than what you do. And we've been having this same conversation, this same topic kind of rise during the podcast here and there, and it's just like we talk about things that get brought up in real life situations.
I'm gonna pull it up while you're talking. I'm gonna see if I can actually play it. I would love to know what. Could you hear all that? I would love to know what conversation brought him into talking about that. Like, because I know, like, when he says stuff on the Steve Harvey Morning Show, is always a matter of it's always a matter of he's just responding to maybe a question or something that somebody sent in, or what have you, or just a opinion that one of his co-hosts have on the show. So I would have loved to been a fly on the wall and actually heard that conversation as it was happening, bro. Because I swear, yeah, man. How do you feel about that, man? I'm gonna be long-winded with it. I already know it.
It brings me back to kind of what like the old folks say about like millennials and this new generation coming up. I hear it all the time. I've even had like my pastor say it, like, kids nowadays or whatever, they're afraid to work. They're afraid of hard work and all this other stuff. And I'm like, some of that is true. And we even have people now in our generation that they come to work expecting to do the bare minimum, less than the bare minimum if possible, and
they get mad when you make them work.
Yeah. And they're fine with that mentality. They're fine to be okay with that. But like, not everyone is like that. Some people, they're kind of the exception to the rule. They know their worth and they don't want to do the unnecessary and get paid for, like, like they're still at the bottom or whatnot.
They know their worth, bro. They ain't about to do no dumb shit. If it ain't gonna make them no money.
Right. But even with that mentality, sometimes, it was distilled to me that, sometimes you're gonna have to go into the job and you're gonna have to start at the bottom. You're gonna have to start as the grunt worker and, kind of prove yourself and move up the ladder if that's what you want to do, or just learn what you can from that job so you can go take that somewhere else and, start out in that high position. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to work. You're gonna have to put in more time than like you said, you're gonna have to do more than what you're getting paid for to one
Yeah.
day get paid more for what you do.
Yeah. And as Marcus was saying earlier, man, we like it just it won't a flex when he said it. Like I'm gonna go ahead and put it like that, bro. Like I don't see it as a flex to be telling the truth, dog. Like
Mm,
for real. And anybody who think it's a flex and think that we just like maybe whatever we listen to, whatever the case is, and we just repeat stuff back on here verbatim, whatever the case is. I don't know what you think when you listen to the Dirty Trump podcast, but bro, like this is real. Like like this is something that we've talked about in detail on another episode, bro.
mm,
And I remember having the conversation because I remember what I was going through when I made the shift into thinking that way. I think it was around the time where I had the epiphany that I was going to have to work some overtime to do some things that I needed to do.
mm,
And that was literally the premise of why I was doing what I was doing. Even though the mindset behind why I was doing it then and why I'm not doing it now has ultimately changed because let's be real, I don't think there's no overtime popping off at our job right now.
I'm mad,
I
man.
don't see that happening, bro. I barely can work the time that I'm supposed to work. So
Facts. They
yeah,
put a cap on that.
it's sad, bro. It's sad. You can't even depend on the 9 to 5 to make money right now, dog. Like it's getting bad out here. So you know what? I'm thinking it might have something to do with those rising gas prices. I ain't think about that, but I think it might have something to do with that. It costs more to ship stuff now. Just saying. Anyway,
Mm,
anyway. So like my man said, and I don't know if y'all heard it, just in case y'all couldn't hear that clearly or not, because I don't know how clear that's going to be through the microphone. It's probably going to be bad, but my man said you got to be willing to do more when you're not getting paid to do it.
mm-hmm.
You got to be willing to do more when you're not getting paid to do it. And it's some deep like in correlation to what Marcus just said that you want to be at the top, but you ain't willing to do the work, the groundwork. You ain't willing to do the work on the floor to get to the top. It's some of y'all out here trying to build buildings with no foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You just out here trying to stack bricks on top of mudslides, trying to build a building because you want to get out. You want to get out of the mud. You want to climb up, but you don't have a solid foundation to even stand on in the first place. So when I hear stuff like that, when I heard that you had to do more, or you had to do more with less and do more of what you want to do when you're not getting, or you if you're not getting paid, you got to do more. Like some people think that, and because this world has us so brainwashed into the idea of what money actually is, Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
Most people believe that if they're not getting paid, then they need to do less.
Wait, what?
I'm dead serious, like, bro, like for real. And you think about some of the stuff that we're going through right now.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are so bent out of shape about the fact that they don't have money markets that they can't make decisions without thinking about money.
Mm-hmm.
They get so stuck on the fact that they got bills to pay, that they got mouths to feed, that whenever the opportunity comes to them, the first thing that they do is push the opportunity away because they gotta have money. So you got
Mm-hmm.
some people who they don't want to do what they need to do to make sure that the job get done. The only thing that they're trying to make sure that happens is that they get paid.
Mm. That's interesting. So that reminds me of it's mainly just two of them now. It used to be three, but we have two
Yeah.
associates that that work less, a lot less,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like the sole reason they have a job is to uh basically the benefits. One of them you'll see a lot less. They'll come in about once every 3 months, and then once they come in for that one day, they disappear for another 3 months, and so on and so forth. Uh, a second one, uh, you would see them in the morning, but they'll disappear in the afternoon or whatnot, and you won't see them for probably about like another week. And it's like, what is your true motives for having this job? Like, what do you contribute? Like, are you only here to just, and because of another person in a high position, they do that and they don't get no repercussion. They don't, it, it's like they come in, do, like I said, less than the bare minimum, and they're fine with that. They're okay with that. It is nothing wrong in their heads with what they're doing. And it baffles me.
Yeah, I get completely confused when I think about the motives behind it, and it's like you even ask them, bro, and they can't even tell you, dog. Like that's the deep part about it. Like if I ask you why you do the things you do, and like for one of them to just be like, I'm looking for a part-time job when you ain't even at work for the one that you have, the full-time job that you have, and I'm like, what do you need a part-time job for? You hardly at this one, and I never got an answer to that question. So I was confused. I mean, like for real, like you talking about somebody who wants to be on leave with pay and tries to do everything, any and everything possible to get leave with pay, or to just be on the leave of absence that while getting paid and sitting at home at the same time. But while you at home, you're not doing anything to get out of the job in general. You just sitting at home. And if I'm not mistaken, Mark, is drugs involved with the decision on sitting at home too. Like that's what make it even worse. Like in my mind, like if I'm at home with pay, Mark, like the job was giving COVID leaves to everybody who tested positive for COVID with a 2 weeks leave with pay. Mark, if I'm at home for 2 weeks, bro, do you know how much I can get done in 2 weeks, bro? If I replace my 40 hours with the stuff that I do in my home-based business model, do you understand how many things that will happen in that 2 week time period, bro?
Probably have 3 books out.
Exactly, bro. Like I can't even imagine like, and people they want to just sit, they want to get off just to be off. Like you talking like the job giving voluntary time off, bro. People just be leaving just to be leaving. And I'm like, yo, what you got going on when you get off? Oh, I'm just gonna go home and play the game. You gonna do what?
Yeah.
You skipping out on money to go home and play video games, bro?
And it's crazy because I've had there was a guy in your position was like, man, I wish they wouldn't even put up VTO because he basically said he doesn't have the self-restraint or the self-restraint to not take it. If it's up, it's sitting there. He's like, it's just like, oh, the job needs me to go home, so I'm gonna go home. Basically, is what he was saying.
Wow.
And I'm just like, bro, what? That don't even make sense.
It don't even add up, bro. They don't even link together, bro.
Like if you need the money, just stay. He's like, but VTO is up, so I need to. I was like, okay, you got it.
Grown man, though.
Yes.
Grown man. Man,
with responsibilities. With
down.
responsibilities.
I'd be down, bro. It's crazy because I think I know who you're talking about too. But yeah, like even oh man, I swear, dog. Like folks just think that, and it's weird though because these people, these same exact people that we talking about, Mark, if you having a conversation about money with them, bro, they believe that money fall from the sky.
I wish it did.
They believe that if you know, like if you got money, you were lucky.
What?
Like these people believe in luck, though, Mark. They believe that that at some point somebody in your family was a part of the gold rush and they just had money from the beginning. They like they believe in a lot. It's a lottery syndrome on steroids. It's like you were at the ground floor or something and you just got lucky to be in the right place at the right time.
That's wild.
Hi. So I have a philosophy thing where, you know, recently we had the same we came to an agreement that we were going to work on something.
Mm,
And I made the decision that we may not be ready to jump into it as of yet.
mm,
And who knows, by the time we get to the point where we're ready to jump into it, Mark, maybe it'll still be at the ground stage. But if not, the way our career is structured right now, we just weren't ready. And this is
mm,
referring to the NFT thing. I was at work thinking about it recently, and I'm like, yo, I don't know if based off of our knowledge right now, if we're ready to jump into that. And if we not ready to jump into that, then I just got to be okay with that because we did the best that we could to make sure that we jumped into it. But if the train leave us, then it is what it is. And
mm.
I can't let the rest of my business fall apart because of what ifs.
Right.
So I was like, yo, if we couldn't get on the ground floor with it, then I'm just gonna move on to the next thing and find the ground floor somewhere else. But most people believe that if we caught the opportunity, then that was lucky.
Mm,
They Mark, don't forget the fact that you were sitting in front of Blender for a whole 10 hours straight and made absolutely no progress in the first 10 hours, don't even know how to use the goddamn program itself. Forget all that, right? Forget the
mm,
fact that forget the fact that the Gem State Siege came out and the book was laden with mistakes everywhere. Forget that. Like forget the fact that, you know, we tried to publish it through a certain platform and it got rejected 5 or 6 times before we could actually get it up and had to pay $25 every single time that we had to submit it. Forget all that. They not looking at that. They only looking at the fact that if we get, you know, if we were ready to be on the NFT space, we make a lot of money in NFTs. It was lucky. Forget the fact, like, you know, I became bestseller. It was lucky. I was in the right place at the right time.
mm-hmm.
Damn the 20 books that I wrote. It don't even matter. It was all luck. Forget about all of the networking and connections that we needed to make in the beginning, when we were damn near pulling our hair out trying to figure out how to make the next move, where our next dime was going to come from, all of the nights worrying and staying up, trying to figure out things, all these different going to conferences and all this Skillshare stuff. Forget all that. Like none of that really matters. But if we make it to success, then we were lucky.
It's real weird how people come up with that conclusion because
Mm-hmm.
it's either, you know, the lack of knowledge or the lack of understanding of like what that person did to get to where they were. Like uh no one wakes up and just picks up, you know, an instrument and can play it frontwards, backwards, can play a song frontwards, backwards.
Mm-hmm.
No, reading music takes time. You have to learn each note, how many counts to hold that note. You know, you have a whole note, quarter note, half note, uh, eighth note, which is literally like an eighth of a second. So if you have two of those, you have to play that before you even finish a second.
Mm.
Uh, and just, you know, reading music, each note means something. Each note has a purpose. Each note goes towards uh the melody of a song, and it's just like all of that. And then you hear the finished product is
Mm.
this great orchestra of whatever, and you're just like, oh, they're lucky to do that. You know, they must
Mm.
have so much talent. They got no, they put in the hard work. They stayed up about, they practice that. They put in the time, the blood, sweat, and tears to, hone their craft to where they can do that
Mm-hmm.
with ease. There's a whole, hours of practicing that took them to get to their final destination.
Mm-hmm.
And all you see is their destination, just like with social media.
Mm-hmm.
People post them going on vacations and whatnot, but you don't really see the long hours they spent working at the job to get that vacation, the investments that they made in the background to, finance that vacation with them, their families, and their loved ones, and their kids and whatnot.
Here's one of the biggest problems. And I love that analogy where it comes to music. So you looking at the fact like somebody can play Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata,
Ooh.
and you can play it for about 3 minutes
Mhm,
and be done with it. It's done. 3 minutes. You can play the whole song 3 minutes.
mhm.
You looking at the fact that it's 3 minutes and was like, it's just 3 minutes. But you don't understand what it took to write that.
Yeah.
You don't understand that there's a lot of notes in that song, Mark.
Yeah.
It's a lot of keys being stroked in that song, bro. So at some point, Beethoven,
Mhm.
doom, 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 ding, doom, doom, ding. Like at some point, he had to go note by note.
Mhm.
Ain't no telling how long that took him to do. And he not only did he had to write it note by note, he had to play it note by note. And at first, I promise you, it don't sound like nothing. Hey, bro, I could produce a song. It take about it take about 5 to 6 or 7 hours to produce a song, and you listen to it in about 3 minutes.
Mhm.
The intro took me 6 hours, 6 hours to make the verse of the intro. 6 hours took me 7 hours to finish the entire instrumental. Took me
Mhm.
9 hours to write the song. 3 hours to record it, but you listen to it the 3 minutes and some seconds, and you like, oh, sounds dope. Like, yo, I can do that. Like anybody can do that. But you're not looking at the amount of time that it takes to actually do the process stuff.
Mhm.
I'm gonna try not to go into saying process too many times because I know what happens to the masses every time they get the S's get the popping on them joints. But I'm gonna try not to go there. But you looking at the fact that the finished product is only
Mhm.
3 minutes some change, 3 minutes of change, and you like, yeah, that's dope. Anybody can do that. But you're not looking at the time and the effort that it takes to do things like that. You're not looking at the time and effort that it takes to like the video games. Everybody criticize Pokemon. Everybody criticized the Pokemon company. Granted, they can be doing a little bit better with the resources they got. I promise you they
Mhm.
can. I understand that and I agree with you. But you're not looking at the fact that, hey, there might be some underlying issues as to why they can't get that done. You looking at it like, okay, yeah, and the people who beast on Blender and know how to make stuff on Unreal Engine, by all means, I'm
Mhm.
not talking to you. I ain't talking to you because you already know the deal. Marcus probably at the end of the year, my man will probably know how to recreate some of the stuff that Pokemon has already done. But you looking at it, you don't do nothing. You don't do nothing with your hands but pick up boxes. You
Mhm.
ain't got no right to criticize. You ain't got no right to criticize. You don't understand how to do nothing that they know how to do. So by all means, you can kick rocks.
It's very interesting. All right. So people get into this mindset that because one, I don't understand it, or I don't know what they went through to get to where they are, it must be easy. They do it with such ease and finesse. It must be
Mm.
easy. It must be able to be, recreated or whatever. Uh, but just like we were saying at the beginning, like you have to be willing to put more time than what you're getting paid for. Because
Mm.
musicians, uh, they could be the best. They could be the best at what they do, but because they're not well known, or because they're just starting out, uh, they're gonna get paid less than what they're worth. Because they have to prove themselves. Just like in a orchestra or something. Like you have to basically compete for, first chair, second chair, and so forth or whatever. Uh People may look at, the audience, they look at the first chair, they might even not even know which chair is which, but they might be looking at the first chair and be like, oh man, he's lucky to be there and this, that, and third. But like he had to compete with probably everybody that's at that orchestra and probably some people that didn't even make it. He had to believe that, he was worth first chair and put in the time and effort. He might not have even been getting paid for it. I don't know how orchestras work. I don't know if you get to the final performance and then you get paid, or you get paid while you're doing it. I don't know. But granted, because that person is passionate about their career and they're willing to do the extra to get to where they're trying to go, they're able to do that. And it's just the people that's on the outside looking in, they will always have something to say, because they don't understand it. They don't want to do that hard work, and they believe like this person is close to a god. That's the only reason they were able to get to their position. But no, they could do the exact same thing if they would take the time to learn whatever there is that they're trying to go for, and just do it. Like it's nothing to it but to do it. Like I know we fear that a lot, but it's the truth. Like you have to start somewhere. Like you said before, you have to put 10,000
hours
to be an expert at something, and everybody's always tripping over that first hour. Just put in the time and effort, go above and beyond, make time to do the thing that you're trying to do. If you have to, stay up late, set time aside to, study, learn something. If you got family, significant other, talk to them, be like, hey, all right, this day will be, just us. This next day, I just need, some time with myself. I just need to focus on this craft so we can get to a better position for ourselves. It's all communication. It's all, effort, dedication, perseverance, whatever you want to call it. Just endure it. Endure the long hours, the stressfulness, and then there's nothing but up. There's no other direction but up after you do all of that.
You know what quote just popped into my mind?
What's up?
After like hearing you just say all that, like the only quote that popped into my mind, Mark, is that everybody want to listen to the music, but nobody want to make it.
Oh, yeah. Oh man, yes. Prime example.
Everybody want to listen to it, but don't nobody want to make it. It's like people, and I heard you, bro. I heard you, Mark. You just said like, God, and I'm and I'm just like, I'm thinking about some of the people that we know about, and they like, yo, they got so many excuses as to why they don't want to start. They afraid of failing. They afraid of looking bad. They're afraid of whatever the case is. They're afraid of what people might think of them. They don't want to do it because they're afraid of something. And I'm just like, yo, if you can get away from that, if you can just get out of your own head and just just make the first step, like and I'm thinking about in your situation, what you say, I want to make video games, and I can't think of how many people who say they want to make video games, and turn on Blender for the first time, and they look at that joint and they're like, "Oh my God!" And like the first time I looked at it might have been different than the first time you looked at it. And the way I look at it now might be a completely different thing for you when you look at it. Cause like there's some things about it that you understand that I don't. So I'm looking at it like with beginner's eyes, and I'm like, oh my damn, like this is some shit here. But at the same time, like the way we're wired, we can't let it go. But everybody else is like, it's almost like when you looking at people and you talking to them and you give them tasks or certain goals, they just like, I don't want to do that because I ain't never did that before. Or how how much money does it make? Like they just like straight up go for the money. If like bump the opportunity. I was talking to my man, my man at work. He said he got a skill, and I'm like, yo, I know people who need your skill, and they willing to pay you for that skill. They willing to pay you for the skill and teach you how to market the skill. And my man was just like, nah, I ain't never did that, so I ain't gonna do it. What you mean? And then you looking at people like the CEO of the business that you work for, and you think he just got there by accident. He won't get paid not 1 cent for starting that joint in the garage when he started, bro. But yeah, you looking at it like he just accidentally came into the joint, into money, into wealth. Yet when people like you work for him.
Yep. And that's crazy because, all right, so I'm at the grocery store and this guy that I know from my church, we had got to talking, catching up or whatever, and we had got on that topic of the owner of our job and the people like Elon Musk and the top dogs and the money making business, right?
The Fortune 500 people.
Forbes
list like, folks.
You look at them now, and then you look at their past and where they came from, and it's like these are completely different people. These are like the financial gap, the mindset gap from their starting point and now is like huge, and people think that like they must have been blessed from all the gods, or whatever, to get their come up. But no, they started out just like us. They had a 9-to-5, but they followed their dreams to and also they made a product that helps people, and they became millionaires, billionaires, trillionaires, or whatever. And it's just like they started from somewhere. And yeah,
like Trey Songz said, I got $1 in the drain.
Yes, like if we could all just like not really have their mindset, but believe that we could have a product that could make us millions. Like, why not go for it? Why limit yourself to working this 9-to-5 that's not going to really get you nowhere? And if today, if like you looking at the gas prices don't, kick you in the butt and be like, yo, my job is completely nothing. It's basically just pass and go, not buying a single, whatever in Monopoly. You ain't bought any land. You just fine with pass and go, getting that $200, that paycheck at the end of the week, at the end of the month, however your financial situation, your job is set up. You are just fine with pass and go and not taking any risk at all. While you out here, everybody else is, buying the railroads, the electric company, and you just landing on all those pieces, and you just giving your money to, the food line, buying groceries, to the gas prices, to the electric company, the waterworks, all that. You got bills to pay, and you just pass and go. You just thinking pass and go is gonna get me through all that.
So the way I'm looking at it though, with the Monopoly analogy, like the way it correlates with life, and the reason why I was saying it earlier about the Monopoly joint and pass and go, every person I feel is like by default, and what I mean by default, meaning that you went to go get a job, so your paycheck is to go. But I feel like every single human being has a choice and the power to change how much they get paid at go.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only a certain amount of people who are going to put in the effort and do the little work at the bottom to change that number. That's how I feel about that.
Yep. Because not for some reason we get in this we fall into the comfort zone, and because it's so comfortable, we stay there. The brain doesn't like any type of resistance, any type of stress, so we stay in the comfort zone. So we are prone to not taking any risks, to not investing into uh the monopoly places, or just investing in general. So because of that, our numbers don't change. We just go to work, come home, go to sleep, and then repeat.
Give them a strong message to close this joint out, Mark.
If you don't do more than what you're getting paid for, you'll never get paid more for what you do. It's the little things that make a big impact. It snowball effects into something much bigger. But in order to do that, you have to get out your comfort zone. You have to be willing to take risks. Because no one scared money scared money don't make money. Put it that way. So get out of here, people. Listen to the Dirty Trunk podcast so you can at least get the confidence and the mindset to push yourself forward, to take risks, to get out your comfort zone, to make big money boss moves. Be an entrepreneur, start a business, invest in stocks, cryptocurrency. You've seen firsthand that cryptocurrency is going to be something big down the line. Bitcoin is your prime example. Now you have little baby, somewhat Bitcoins that are, popping up. Get on the trend, learn something. There's plenty of websites, books out here that teach you the formula. That's all life is. It's a bunch of formulas bringing together to make a big equation that you can profit from. So,
ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Dirty Trump podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. And
always remember that those who shy away from the elephant are doomed to be crushed by the weight of it.
Yes, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aaron Mack. That is Marcus Morton. This has been the Dirty Trump podcast. Peace. Love you guys. See you next week.